We have Miss Max Razor Charles, your home for classics, today's hip hop and R&B 101 jams this Sunday. Yet another, in my humble opinion. Mm-hmm. And so, Miss Max, for this business spotlight to kick off the show, who do we have?
That's right. So what we try to do, what Razor tries to do, is make sure that, in my humble opinion, is used as a platform for all of our small business owners, minority business owners, what have you. And he does an excellent job of reaching out to the community and finding those business owners out there. And sometimes they come to us, and that says a lot about their reputation. And in this case, I believe this particular business was recommended by someone who used their services and was very, very pleased. And so we want to welcome to, in my humble opinion, Jbella Photography.
Thank you.
Welcome,
that's right.
Welcome.
So tell the listeners your name and a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Sarah Ellen Bagby, and in 2017 I started Jbella Photography, something as a little bit of a hobby, and then quickly began to realize that when you take pictures of people who feel good, it does something, and they start spreading the word. So the business just grew much quicker than I thought it was going to, and that's how we're here today.
Okay. So I read a little bit about your background, and you said that so you were with a child and like to take pictures of yourself, and you told your husband, look, you can buy me a camera or
we're going to spend a lot of money on photos.
That's right. So, this passion, do you feel like you were always maybe a business owner at heart, or what do you think? It's a big leap from, let me take some pictures as a hobby to, I think I want to do this as a business.
So I have a background in the beauty industry. I've been in the hair industry for 19 years. I like to do makeup. And I'm a district leader for a large corporation. So I've always been on the business side of it. So again, as soon as I started to see that people were like, wow, you take really good photos, it quickly was like, I was on maternity leave. She was 3 months old, and I started being like, oh, I'm really good at this. The passion just every day I was on a website, or I was on a photography site, like, okay, what else can I learn? 3 months into my maternity leave, I went and got my business license. So I literally just took what I've learned in that district leader role of being in the hair industry and being behind the chair and all the things I've learned, and started putting some of that towards my business. And that is probably a huge part of what has helped, along with the passion that when somebody gets a photo back and they say, oh my God, I love this, I can't believe you did it, it just makes you that much more hungry.
So, Sarah, let me ask you about that, because with photography, you know how the world is right now. Everybody has a smartphone, right?
Yes.
So everybody has a camera, and to some extent, folks feel like a photographer. Like, I don't know if you guys know the story of Instagram, but that's actually how Instagram was started. Where, folks was taking pictures, putting filter on them. Then the guy was like, you know what? I think everybody wants to share pictures like this, don't you think? So my question to you is, being in photography, how are you setting yourself apart? Like, what is it about Jbella Photography that you feel that you bring into the business?
They feel beautiful without the filter. And so, like I said, I also now have the ability to add makeup. Or sometimes even have other people come in to do the makeup. So giving somebody a photo that looks like them, and I am very social media. So if you've ever seen my weddings or followed me, I post their picture the same day. So I have the ability to edit quickly and still efficiently. If you get a newborn or a portrait, I'm going to put it out the same day, but it's going to look like you. And so you're going to immediately have people that say, you look beautiful, not the filter looks beautiful, or what does she have on her? It's all about making you enhance what you already have, with or without the makeup. So.
Now, as a small business owner myself, there's been a lot of bumps and bruises as to figure out how to make the business work efficiently and to be as profitable as possible. So I'd like to ask you, what are some of the challenges that you found in your, venture as a business owner, and kind of overcoming those things or learning from them?
I think most off, be making sure that you're talking to your people. Understand what people are looking for. You're going to have different guests that want different things, and everybody, I'm not a photographer who has a style. You'll find a lot of people like nary, or they like dreamy. I ask my people what they want, and then I try to create images that
I don't know what either one of those words means, but we just go keep on going.
So they're photography styles, and a lot of photographers pride themselves on only having one style. I don't think I have a client that has the same style as the next client.
Gotcha.
So when I get into editing, if you like grungy, I may go with a darker look for your photos.
Okay.
If you have a wedding, for example, that is soft and airy, I'm going to do soft and airy, but I'm going to do it according to what my client wants.
Gotcha.
Not that I have. So if you go through my images, you're going to see a lot of different styles of editing. You're going to see a lot of different styles of photos because I base it on who I'm, like, I get to know the people I'm working with before I post.
So let's talk about some of the I guess venues or backdrops or what have you that you use. I don't know the proper photography terminology, but I see a lot of outdoor, a lot of nature, things like that. What, for those that, maybe trying to check out your site or hear what you're all about and they need some pictures taken, what type of things are you able to do?
I really like outdoor.
Okay.
I like natural light. I'm doing a lot of weddings now, so I like things that make you feel good. So when somebody has an event, senior portrait, a newborn, something that makes them happy.
Okay.
I'll do that, and I do indoor for certain So if you have an indoor event, we do indoor events, we'll do lighting. But if somebody came to me and wanted a portrait done, my preference is going to be to do it outside.
Okay.
Yep.
And I have a question.
Yeah.
Now we get to the meat and potatoes part.
Okay.
Having your own business, what has that done for you personally? What has it done to, because people don't understand. Like, a lot of people say, I get into business because I don't want a boss and I don't want to do this. But we don't actually talk about how having your own business makes you feel good. Seeing your own work come back to you. Like, how does that make you feel?
Confident, empowered, are probably the two words I would go with the most. Because probably in the beginning, like I said, I really thought it was going to be a hobby.
Okay.
As it generated, it was like, okay, I'm good at this. So it really just benefited from that. And then having, originally it was just word of mouth. Now I have people I don't know reaching out and saying, I saw your work, I love your work, I want to book an appointment. So that just is empowering, and it just makes you want to continue to do what you do because other people are receiving it well.
Let's talk about your support system around you.
Yes.
I heard you say you told your husband, look, we're going to spend a lot of money if you don't buy me this camera.
Yeah.
Tell people how important it is for your support system to be there when you're starting out a small business.
It is huge. And it really, I think of this as a way of life. If people aren't in your corner or in your fence, you have to separate yourself from them. So I am blessed that I have friends, I have my mom, my husband, like the people that are around me, like they really are there for me.
You said friends. Shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer's the one who told
Jennifer
me about
McLaughlin, huge shout out. She is like my personal marketing.
That's how I found you. She contacted me and she said, you have got to interview my girl.
Yes, and she does it on Facebook and everywhere she does. Jennifer has probably booked more sessions.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
And that's just support all the way around. I have so many people that have booked, they reshare, they tag, they they tell their friends. And for me, support doesn't mean you necessarily had to purchase my stuff, although I like it.
Right.
But it's about sharing what's being done, having people look at it. That whole thing, it makes you feel good.
So where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go?
Yeah, where do you want to go with this?
I want to go big.
Okay.
So I recently started adding on makeup to my own services. So you can come to me, get your makeup done, and get your photo session. And I want to be able to spend entire days with that. There's a lot of places I want to go. Just the beginning is doing the weddings, doing the full makeover to make somebody, when they take their photo, realize that like they had a whole day. Right. And that's an investment for them to just feel good. Like, I don't know how to describe that, but there's a lot of places I want to go with this. Something I haven't really spoke about a lot also is going to be eventually a nonprofit for younger kids, girls. This will be the first time I've even announced it or shared it, but I always kind of use the quote that like, I'm not what came before me, I am me. And being able to do kind of the same thing of fixing them up, maybe not makeup because it's hair, but to have them feel good and take photos and give them that image to always have with them, to be like, what, that's me, that's me, and let them know they can do their own path. So
have you thought about hiring people?
I actually already have Cam. He is amazing. He's my second photographer. I also thank you. I utilize him a lot if I can't get to an event. Cam will like stop what he's doing
That's passion.
to come and like take it on. And so he's probably 19 or 20, but when I did my first wedding, by the way, it was like a $300 wedding that a friend's photographer canceled. And I called Cam, was like, hey, we got a wedding. Let's go. And every time I do one, like he knows his camera inside or out and out. He's studied it. So I've started with him. Right now I do have another full-time day job, but once I get into this full-time, which is in the future, I do plan to add on to my team, because the one thing I noticed in the photography world is when somebody's photographer cancels, they go into a frenzy because there's nobody else to come and take that photo. So I'd like to have a team. I also like to educate. I've educated in the cosmetology background for many, many years. I want to teach other people the art of photography so that I can have a team that if one of us got sick, life happens, somebody gets sick, something happens, we already have somebody for you versus you being in a frenzy. And, usually people are just left in the dark if they don't have that photographer trying to go through 50 other photographers that respond to an ad and figure out which one is going to take it over. So.
One of the things that jumped out to me when you were talking about your background is that you're already in the cosmetology field. And so you already have an eye for beauty. You just kind of expanded it some in terms of photography. And I think that for business owners out there who are thinking about starting a business but have no real world experience, I think, and you can maybe speak on how important that piece was and now your new position, I think that's a very vital role. Like if you are aspiring to do some type of business, open some type of business, get a job, whether part-time job, few hours a week,
what have you. I feel passionately about that.
and learn how it works.
Yeah, because I always say, if you can't work for somebody else, it's going to be hard to work for yourself because the discipline hasn't been kind of instituted in you to be able to get up and be there for your customers on time, to be able to know how to speak to somebody if they don't like what you have. Some people just want to fire back, but that's not how you grow a business. So for me, had I not had the experience of working for somebody else, and it's been 20 years, I couldn't run my own business to the capacity that I do. And in that field in itself, I see a lot of people that will go to school for whatever trade it is, but they get out and they want to run their own business. But they don't have the background, they don't know the knowledge of the business, and so it's hard. And then 2 years later, they don't understand why it wasn't successful. Right. So I think even if it's 2 years, 5 years, 20, get to know the business that you want to be in. And when I first started photography, I really wasn't at a place where I could throw out a lot of extra money to go take classes. But in that 6-month period of doing it and realizing where I was going, I started taking classes. I mean, just a month ago, I spent a decent amount of money. And I went and took a class in Maryland with one of the best in the country.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's going to be a continued investment because every industry changes. So you have to be able to stay on top of learning, growing, and developing your craft. Because if you don't, somebody else is going to take it.
That's right. That's right. And then another part.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
You guys feel free to jump in because we're just having our own little session over here.
That's what I was going to say. Like, where are you from, Miss Bagby?
So I'm actually from Greene County, Virginia.
Max, where you from? Where you from, Max?
I'm from Greene County.
Okay.
Yes, Max, okay.
It's something in the water.
It was something in the water. That was a good year.
It was.
That was a good year.
So, and another piece of that, and again, this whole segment is, of course, to highlight you, but it's to speak to those aspiring to open businesses, is taking the leap of faith to open the business.
Yes.
I know you had a great support system, and you were loving photography in general because of the photos you were taking of yourselves, but you have to have that leap. And people fear failing. They feel wasting a lot of money. They wonder whether or not they could do it. But you just have to believe in it that much.
You do. And it's funny because I just had somebody last week, because I already took the leap, but there's another leap that's coming.
That's good.
I put
Leaps
it in the air
Leaps
that we're going to do this full time. And in saying that, a few days ago, I actually had a minister that was around me that said, you cannot say that and then take it back with the but and all the things that are coming in between. So you really have to create a timeline that works for you, and you just have to do it.
Okay.
You just have to do it.
Sounds good. Great advice. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. Jbella Photography is here with, in my humble opinion, and we're talking about photography and the beauty that it gives its customers in the world. We're going to take a break. When we come back, some parting words, maybe some words of advice for business owners out there. All right? We'll be back after this.
IMHO. IMHO 101 Jams, and this is your home for today's and classics, hip hop and R&B. Sir Charles.
It's Max.
Razor.
And we are in the building. Miss Max.
That's right, family. IMHO is sitting down with the owner of Jbella Photography, Miss Sarah Ellen, and just kind of talking to her about her business and what it means to be a business owner, and hopefully sharing some advice about how you can take that stuff as well. So Sarah, I'd like for you to just kind of open up the floor to you for any information or advice you'd like to share to anyone listening, whether it be starting a business, running a business, or you could simply just share some information that maybe we've left out about your own.
The main thing for me is I service Richmond and Charlottesville, and I'll go outside of that area. But with my business is what I would recommend and share with other people. Research what it is that you want to start to work with. And then don't limit yourself to one thing. So regardless of, like, I want to do photography, but I study all styles of photography. So I study like the artsy side of it, where it looks almost like a painting. I study portrait photography. I study newborn photography. So I don't want to have a door that's closed. But I think that in any field, if you don't learn all aspects of the field, you kind of put yourself in what I call a danger zone. So I think that that's huge. That's something that I do. And I don't ever want to have a guest that I can't do. So I always want to be able to be open that, that bride is one day going to have kids, have family, and I want to be able to be their family photographer. So just networking. And then the other piece really is customer service. It's hard to do any service job if you are not people friendly. And the other people are, they're allowed to have a good day or a bad day. But as a business owner, it should always be a good day, because it only takes a couple people to have a not so good experience, and your ego can get in the way. It can ruin your business. So I think that is huge. And that's something that people should really think about. And also, if you need to study that. But customer service, you can have not so great work, but amazing customer service, and people will give you a second and third chance. But you can have amazing subpar work and not a great attitude and not have good business. So
good advice there. Something that I thought of while you were speaking is oftentimes people will step out and open up a business, but they forget I'm running a business. It's a pretty successful business, but they forget the structured part of the financial side of it.
Yeah.
So you go out and you do some jobs or whatever, and you get paid, and you're not responsible with the money, or you don't use it where you're supposed to, or maybe not everyone can afford an accountant, but it's just not utilizing the funds of that business properly. So if you could, speak to that part of it, as how important it is to make sure that you finance your business and use that money so that for growth of the business.
Yeah, well, if you don't do it, you won't grow your business. I think that's kind of the bottom line with that one.
You won't be in business.
You won't, because you're going to have taxes, you're going to have expenses. You might have a refund here and there. Hopefully you don't, but you want to always be prepared. You've got business insurance, business licenses, and a lot of these things I hadn't even thought of before, because I hadn't had my own business, but quickly realized there has to be something to the side to do it. And if you get a huge idea or something that you want to do, it's going to be an investment. So you want to make sure that you start putting away. And they say most businesses don't make profit sometimes for a few years, because you spend the first few years investing. And I know in photography in particular, you're investing in props. Like for me, I'm about to add makeup. You're now investing in makeup. Right. Classes that I have taken, even down to my makeup class, they're anywhere from $500 to thousands of dollars. And it's a must that you stay educated. So you've got to have that money to the side. Yep.
Good information. Nice. Boys, you got anything for her?
Boys.
No, they ain't talking to me.
No, Sir Ellen, thanks you for joining us for sure.
My pleasure.
Yeah, much success. I just want to say I like how you're laying out, the imagery.
Yes.
Because I think that's so important. Because like I said, that's definitely a market to separate yourself, and I think that you're definitely doing that. So how can the folks reach you though? Like, what's your social media, your website?
So my Facebook is @JBELLA RVA. So Jbella RVA.
Okay.
I also have Zenfolio Jbella Photography, which is my actual website. So it's ZenfolioJbella.com that you can reach me at. And also I'm on Instagram, and that is MZELLENS_Jbella Photography.
All right, awesome. And we have it posted on our site as well for y'all to check out. Our flyers on there.
Thank
you so much for joining
My
us.
pleasure.
Best of luck on your business ventures, and keep up the great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back after this.